Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
Today, we're going to talk about Caitlin Clark and how she has inspired tribalism due to no fault of her own. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. And hit that notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next videos. Now, Rob, I'm going to use tribalism in this video, but I actually think it's a mild form of racism because it's basically you're being prejudiced. You're overrating or underrating somebody, and that's being prejudiced. But since it's not the kind of racism that takes away someone's rights, I'm just going to stick with tribalism, even though I don't like being accusing people of racism also without having a good reason. I've done it in some other videos when I see no other explanation.
Right.
But I'm going to stick with tribalism. Is that cool with you, Rob?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So, anyways, Rob, I think the tribalism started in sports by the white people back in the 1900s in boxing. Now, people might say baseball, but baseball, there were some black players in the 1800s, and then they didn't want to play with them. I don't think there was any indication that blacks were dominating the sport. There was only a couple that played. Right. I think it had to do with they just didn't want to be in the same field as them because they were such big racists.
Yeah.
I think the tribalism started with heavyweight boxers. The whites had always been heavyweight champs, at least since, and then in the early 1900s, a bunch of great black boxers came around. And the best of them was Jack Johnson. And they wouldn't give him a bout. He probably deserved one a few years before he got it. He didn't get it until he was 27. He might have been the best in the world like 3 years before that or so.
Right.
But he finally did, and then he won. And then they got the ex-champion to fight him because he had retired, and he came back, and they all thought he was going to win. He got destroyed. And he held the title for 8 years, and he finally lost. But, Rob, so the white people got all upset, and they thought, this can't be right. How could a black people be stronger than a white person? Because they were such racists, And now it's not even. Now white people don't seem to have a chance in boxing, especially at the heavyweight level. That's been taking place for 50 to 100 years. So they don't do real well in boxing. And MMA, there's some successful white fighters though. But in boxing,
there's a white champion right now. I think he's got 2.
Oh yeah, they've been successful at MMA, but in boxing, blacks have dominated, pretty much. Joe Louis got the title and held it for a long time, 12 years, and and then Muhammad Ali, of course. But I guess the tribalism, I think, started with the white people. But when it comes to basketball, it seems to be more the black people are upset right now in the WNBA, and I think it has more to do with tribalism than anything else. That's just my take.
Well, and specifically, it's the black woman who is focusing in on that. It's a big focus on no matter that Caitlin Clark, she is a fantastic athlete. She's a great basketball player, but with the tribalism, they're sticking together as a group because of they're women and then they're black. Like they're saying, oh, well, who is she to come into our sport? This is our sport. And you're just looking at her and not the other black players, which is not true.
Right. And, I think, some white people overrate a white basketball player. I'm not doubting that whatsoever. I don't think I do. And I don't think I see color when it comes to rating a person's ability in a sport. I hope I don't. Rob would probably tell me if I did. Like Larry Bird, I don't think he was overrated.
No.
And I think it's pretty well accepted that he actually wasn't. That's how great he was. But they think Caitlin Clark was since her junior and senior year in college when she started getting a lot of publicity. That's interesting, Rob. She didn't seem to be considered overrated until she started getting a lot of publicity.
Mm-hmm.
So that suggests to me that they don't like the fact that she was getting all this publicity. And that's why they want to underrate her, because she's getting so much publicity. And black females have 2 reasons to be tribal, having to do with blacks and having to do with females. So I think that's why you see more black males supporting Caitlin Clark's abilities than black females. There's almost no black females in the media that do. There's a couple YouTubers, and there's a bunch of people that follow our channel and other channels that, have a lot of Caitlin Clark videos. They support Caitlin Clark because they're not tribal. But
And
and then
believe
a lot of black males support her too. But
and believe me, Mark, if I thought Caitlin Clark was not a very good, was just overrated, and people were kept on promoting her, I definitely would be like, I would definitely would call them out and say, wait a minute, wait. Yeah, she's good, but you guys are going too crazy with this. But I'm looking at her play, and that's what probably most basketball players, no matter what color, are looking at her and going, she's going to be a fantastic ball player. It's not overrated. Look at the passing. Look at her, her vision and her enthusiasm for the game and competitiveness. Like, come on, you got to see that. You have to see that, and it has nothing to do with her color.
Rob, I can't prove that I'm right on this, but I can give you an example as to why I think this is tribalism and not just me overrating Caitlin Clark or you overrating Caitlin Clark. If you saw how much better her passing is than just it was when she graduated from college to right now, after just having 26 games in the WNBA and 2 preseason games. That's all she's played, and she had a really short camp, so it's a very short time, just a few months. Her passing, I thought she was the best passer I've ever seen in women's basketball history when she was in college.
Okay.
Of all time, even including anyone in the WNBA of all time. I think she's the best passer I ever saw. And I said that when she was a senior in college, which is obviously just 4 months ago. But she developed even more of a better passer than I thought she was going to.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm watching her game, and I keep on going. I have to go back to her basic pass, like my chest pass, my little bounce pass. Her basic passing behind the back bounce pass for a layup. That's not like she just does it because she has to, or the situation where the defender forces her to. That's part of her repertoire of passing.
And Rob,
amazing.
Those aren't even her turnovers. When she does behind the back, those are all completed. All the ones I've seen. She had one underneath the basket that was, I mean, I couldn't believe it. She was underneath the basket and went underneath the defender's hand. It had to be perfectly timed. The degree of difficulty of that pass was through the roof. I don't know what number you want to give it. If 100, it's got to be a 99.9. You know.
Yeah.
And she's getting more and more accurate with difficult passes and more creative.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's a good point right there, Mike. She's getting more creative, that's why basketball is such a fun game. You can be really creative with it. You can do, even the no-look bounce pass, the look-away bounce pass, and then also with her getting the rebound and throwing the ball full court like a Wes Unseld type deal to a pinpoint layup. That's hard to do also.
Right. So I think I underestimated how quickly her passing would go to the next level. And I think it's partly because she's a hard worker, but partly because they gave her a difficult time when she entered the league. And I think it backfired because she had to figure things out. And she did. And I just want people to look at that and say, okay, why is this level of passing so high right now if she's really overrated? Right. Not. It's because she wasn't overrated. She's not overrated. She's underrated, and people underrated her because she was getting too much publicity. Some of the people weren't all blacks that underrated her. Some went to University of Connecticut, LSU, South Carolina. Some white people from those colleges didn't like the fact that one of their own that went to the university was getting all this publicity, and she didn't win a championship, so she has to be overrated. And I'll cover that in another video.
Mark, we could call that tribalism too. With
It's university tribalism taking place. So the whole point is that Caitlin Clark, both in university, women, and black tribalism, have all resulted in her being underrated.
Right.
Like right now, people are claiming, oh yeah, Angel Reese should be rookie of the year. No, stop it. No. Right now, it's not close.
No.
It's not. It's tribalism if you think otherwise. You got blinders on. So and this is just sports, so it's not a big deal, So she wins rookie of the year, doesn't win. I think it's a big deal if she gets ripped off, but it's not going to hurt you any if Angel Reese doesn't win rookie of the year, especially since she doesn't deserve it.
Right, and like you said, the tribalism starts with also, like, prejudice starts with hate. The hate that she got coming into the league was unfathomed. It was unwarranted. I mean, people were out and out hating her for help for just playing basketball. She's just out there playing basketball. She did nothing to anybody else. She just came into a league trying to play basketball. I hate her. Oh, wow, okay. For what reason? You hate her, which is stupid. The reason is prejudice, and like that's what you're saying. It's tribalism. You're a black woman. You see this white woman coming into the league, and she's doing well, and she's getting all these promotions. So immediately you go, "Oh, I hate her. I can't believe the way they're treating her, and she's some kind of queen, great white hope. She ain't nothing. All she can do is do threes. That's it. That's all she got." Oh, well, really?
Turns out her passing is the best part of her game, not her threes and her logo threes. Right. And it's because it's gone leaps and bounds, and her 3-point shot's not hitting right now. I think it will when it comes back from the break. And Rob, of course, I think some of it is that a white player is not necessarily dominating yet, because she's not the best player in the league yet, but she will be. Is playing really well in a sport that's been dominated by blacks, both at the NBA level and the WNBA level. Mm-hmm. And that's not a real good reason to resort to tribalism, Rob, because, it's not like it's 100% blacks in the league and one white person. A lot of whites have been successful in the WNBA and the NBA. And that silly article that we had before where it was important, Lindsay Schnell said it was important for blacks to be the face of the league. No, it's not. It's not. It's if they were never the face of the league, that would be important for them to be the face of the league at that point. But if they're only 63 to 70% blacks in the league and 20% whites, by chance alone, once in a while, a white person's going to be the face of the league.
Yeah, y'all going to get a little lucky. You get a little lucky in there,
Yeah. And so, okay, Larry Bird was the face of the league for a short while. Okay. And we don't know if Cooper Flagg is going to be the face of the league when he gets in the pros. We don't know. We know if Chet Holmgren is going to.
That's what I want to say, Mark. But you don't see that tribalism that much in college. It only comes when it comes down to, it seems like in pro sports. In the college, because people don't really, it's there, but they don't really care. You have great white players in college in all the sports. But then when it comes down to the point where to be a pro, you got to be black. You got to be this.
Yeah, just get over it. Sometimes a white person's going to be the face of the league. It's okay. It's okay. It really is. If they are all the time, that would be a problem. It really would be.
The whole thing is don't put color into it. This is a great ball player. This happens to be white. This is a great ball player that happens to be black. It's just a great ball player.
I don't think that blacks are ever going to lose their dominance in basketball in the United States, Rob. No. It just doesn't seem to be. There's too much of a history already. They've ever since they got in the league in the 50s in the NBA. It wasn't long before they started dominating. So it's not going to change. So don't worry. You're still going to have your dominance.
Exactly. It's okay.
You're still going to have your dominance in football, in sprinting. You're still going to have that dominance. Nothing's going away. If a white sprinter comes around is really good, you have to start saying, oh, no, they're not as good. Luckily, in sprinting, it's whoever wins the race. Okay.
Yes.
Here, you got people evaluating that, and then they start evaluating them improperly because they're upset because the person's white. It's tribalism, and that's childish. It's immature.
Yeah.
Just stop looking at skin color and when you rate person, please. It's annoying. and like I said, I'm not going to resort to be calling it racism, because it's not. There's much more important types of racism in our society to worry about than this.
Most definitely, yeah.
But it's still not proper. And if you want to be a sports fan, learn to be objective, or else you just look silly, in my opinion.
Yeah, just be like the kids. The kids don't care. The young kids don't care who Caitlin Clark is or who Angel Reese is. They don't say, "Mommy, I'm gonna get an autograph from this black basketball player." "Mommy, I want the autograph from the Caitlin Clark. She's white. She's not black." Kids aren't saying that.
I've seen
enjoying the game.
Kids get autographs. Girls get autographs from Angel Reese. I've seen.
Yeah, so they don't care.
Black girls wear Caitlin Clark jersey in the stands.
Yeah, they don't care. That's why
adults teach people that, right?
Yes, there's an old saying from the musical South Pacific: "You've got to be taught." You've got to be taught, and they're taught. The only way they're taught to be prejudiced is if they're adults or their parents teach them that way. Besides that, they don't know. It's like when I was teaching in Taiwan. They were excited. First black teacher. They couldn't wait to go home and tell their parents. But after that, they didn't care. I was just, just teacher Robert, just hanging out, having fun, teaching them.
They were just happy you were teaching them English
Yeah.
because they wanted to learn.
Yeah. It was fun. And they were
You were
fun.
a good
They were
teacher.
great.
That's all that mattered, as long as you were a good teacher, which I'm sure you were, Rob. What's unfortunate is, Rob, it's like Caitlin Clark didn't cause any of this. She just
No.
wants to play ball. Everyone else turned it into tribalism, and I'm saying
Yeah.
I'm saying there's a small percentage of whites that are doing tribalism. I'm saying that, but it seems to be more for blacks, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems to me. And that I'm just saying that because Caitlin Clark's the one that's being underrated.
Right.
And so that appears that way to me. Anyways, can we just play basketball?
Yeah, exactly. We just talk about basketball. Hopefully this will be the last time we have to even talk about, but I doubt it, because when the Rookie of the Year award comes out, we already know what's going to happen.
They're going to say the Great White Hype got the Rookie of the Year and she didn't deserve it.
Yeah, we already know. We see.
Look at the turnovers.
Turnovers. Look at this.
If they're losing it now, Rob, what happens when I think is going to happen, which is she's going to get an MVP. She's going to get a championship. She may get multiple of both. She may go down as the greatest player of all time. I can't imagine what the reaction is going to be then.
Yeah, the heads are going to explode. Like, oh my, yeah.
The world's going to end for them.
It sure is.
It's okay.
I feel sorry for them. Mark, I feel sorry for them, because you're missing out on what this is. You're missing out on what life really is about. To have that in your mind really does a disservice to yourself.
Rob, they're missing out more than that. They're missing out on the most exciting athlete since Michael Jordan. Right. The white people who didn't get behind Michael Jordan in terms of like at least watching him play and enjoying watching him play, they missed out on the greatest ride in sports history. In my lifetime, he is by far the most exciting and mesmerizing athlete of all time. I didn't care he was black, but the white people who are racist and didn't really get behind him and didn't watch him much because they didn't like the fact that he was obviously the best player and he got all this publicity. And they were jealous of his publicity. They missed out. And the people right now who are haters of Caitlin Clark because of tribalism, some because of racism, to a minor degree, I say that's part of it, are missing out. Because if you're not watching Indiana Fever play right now, you may be missing the most exciting passer in the history of basketball, men or women. I'm serious. And she might go down as the best passer of men and women in passing.
The black women on ESPN that are ragging on Caitlin Clark, they're gonna look so silly. I mean, look at all the tapes. They're gonna look so strange and they're already trying to back off a little, but they're gonna look so foolish. Saying all these
the only
things
way will look foolish if she's a bust, but the way she's been playing the last 6-8 games, there seems to be zero chance of that.
It's too late. Yeah, it's too late. Just come on, ride the train. Come on, ride the train.
Stop the tribalism and just enjoy Caitlin Clark's playing, and you'll be much happier.
Yeah, happier.
Get rid of the anger, get rid of the jealousy and the enviness. Just enjoy it. And if you don't like Angel Reese because she's black, stop it too. Enjoy the fact that she's a great rebounder, great offensive rebounder. And she really, like she says, she's a dog out there. She really hustles when she's out there. And that's great. And I enjoy that aspect of her game. And I don't care even that her personality is not likable or that she's black. I like watching her for that reason. Not as much as Caitlin Clark, not as much as some other players in the league, but she's exciting in that sense, Rob. And so if white people are doing that, stop it also. That's tribalism and racism and all that. Just forget about skin color.
Enjoy the game.
Enjoy sports. That's what you're supposed to be doing. We got enough of that in politics right now. We don't need it. We don't need it in the WNBA.
Yeah, keep that out of there. Yeah, keep it out of this.
Please. All right. Well, that's our take for today. We're going to be live today. This is 10:22 in the morning right now. And in less than 4 hours, I'm going live for my first Olympic broadcast, 2 to 5. And you're going to see some great finals in swimming, 400 men and women and 2 relays. It's going to take place. And we're going to do it every day from July 27th to August 10th. And this is Eastern time, obviously. And that's prime time in Paris. So that's when they have the marquee events. And NBC's doing like a prime time show every day, 2 to 5. That's why I'm doing it. They're going to have taped events at night. So if you like this video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for?
Come on, we're almost there. We're
almost there at 3,000. We've only been around for 3 months, so we're actually doing well. But we need more people, need more help. And our live show, our regular live show, is Mondays, 6 to 8 Eastern, but we're not doing it for the next 2 weeks, and we don't do it on major holidays. But we'll be back after the Olympics. Okay. And if you want to donate to this channel, there's super chats down below, and there's also a link to PayPal. And we'll see you in the next video. And hopefully,
Right.
we're talking just about basketball.
Yes. Peace out.